Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we're reviewing the Game of Thrones Legacy Collection, Robb Stark. So here I am finishing up the second series of Game of Thrones Legacy figures. Now I just have to wait for the third series to come out. Of course, here we have Robb Stark. You probably have a pretty good idea of what you're getting if you're familiar with Game of Thrones Legacy series. Let's go ahead and zoom in with the articulation, sculpt, paint details, all those sorts of things. Alright, start off with a quick size comparison. Of course, here we have Robb. Here's our standard Marvel Legends 6-inch Cosmic Armor Iron Man and 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe Wolverine. Robb's a bit short for the 6-inch scale, but the Funko figures are a little bit shorter than Marvel Legends anyway. Either way, he's still kind of short. Maybe Robb was short, I don't remember. He is a fairly young man, so maybe he's just not at his full height yet. I don't really know. He's still in rough 6-inch scale and much bigger than 3 3/4-inch figure. Now let's get everything else out of here and just look at Robb. Alright, moving on to our 360 spin. Here you can see Robb Stark. He's got his big furry black cloak. Sort of standard Winterfell armor. It's sort of brown and dark colors. Nice detail sculpted into it, but it's not especially interesting looking. He's got a sword there on the side, and both of his hands are open, so you can put the sword in whichever hand you want to. Like I said, not a particularly interesting detail, but everything looks good, and it looks the way it's supposed to, so that's nice. Now let's go ahead and zoom in on his head sculpt. Head sculpt-wise, I think Robb looks pretty good. The hair and the beard are all sculpted nicely. He's got some little specks there on his face. That's probably just mine. Just a slight quality control issue. The likeness isn't perfect or anything, but it's pretty recognizable. You can tell it's supposed to be Robb Stark. So there's no major complaints there. Let's go ahead and zoom out and look at some articulation. Articulation-wise, Robb's pretty standard for the Funko Legacy line. Ball joint head, forward and back, side to side. Ball joint shoulders, in and out, forward and back. This little thing here moves around enough to not get in the way too much. Elbows, hinge, rotation. Same thing in the wrist, hinge and rotation. Waist cut, hips going in and out, forward and back. This flappy bit gets in the way a little bit. Double joint knees, thigh cut, hinge and pivot in the ankles. So you should be able to get him into any pose you really need to, as long as you can manage to keep him balanced, because his cape is kind of heavy and it makes him tip over a little bit. Now Robb does come with one accessory, so let's go ahead and look at that. Robb comes with his sword, which is a pretty standard sword, silver blade, gold crossguard and pommel, and leather-wrapped handle. Fits in his hand or in the sheath, so there's no complaints there. That wraps it up for Robb and all of his accessories. Let's move on to the packaging. Packaging-wise, Robb comes in the standard Game of Thrones Legacy packaging. Got your gray box this time. Game of Thrones Legacy Collection, number 11. Direwolf down there at the bottom, and Robb Stark. On the back, you get a picture of Robb, as well as the other figures available in this series. Jaime Lannister, Brienne of Tarth, Arya Stark, Khal Drogo, and Robb Stark and Daenerys Targaryen. I have the entire wave except for Daenerys, and I've reviewed all of them now that I have. So you can go look for those if you so desire. As always, these are good for in or out of package display, so yeah, Robb Stark. Alright, that wraps it up for Robb, so until next time, goodbye! Hello, you've just watched one of my videos. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed my videos. If you didn't, run away and never return. Also, feel free to check out my other channels, Venom Raptor for all my variety gaming content, and VR Reviews for reviews of various action figures and collectibles. Thank you, and goodbye.